Roberts on the Fan.
Joe and Evan, Evan and Joe, on WFAN Sports Radio. If you want to be in the New York know, gotta go to Joe and Evan, Evan and Joe. 66 on your AM dial, 101.9 FM. Joe and Evan on the Fan. Joe and Evan on WFAN.
All right, 10:03 on the Fan. We are live from the Mike Francesa studio here at 345 Hudson Street in Lower Manhattan. Benigno Roberts in the midday, 877-337-6666 is the phone number. We hit the 1 o'clock, and this will be the last time. Today will be the final time that we will be able to say Mike's on, Francesa on the Fan will come your way. It'll also be the last time you and I are on to 1 o'clock. Unbelievable.
But you know what? We were given a gift yesterday. And I don't mean...
Before you get to the gift, let me just say
Go ahead, yes.
Let me just say, had a terrible job by Dove Kramer not being here on Mike's last day. Cara Galante, Ernie Acosta on the other side of the glass.
That really is inexcusable.
Inexcusable for Dove.
Dove.
Dove, it's a poor job. Mike's last day. You've been with Mike for 30 years now. How you're not here is disgraceful, but we love you anyway. Go ahead, bro.
One of 57 off days that Dove will take over the course of a calendar
Only Mike
year.
had more.
I got to give Cherney credit because naming this studio after Mike Francesa means that every single day, even though you don't get to say we take you till 1,
right.
Francesa on the Fan, you get to say as often as you want.
And I will.
We're live from Mike Francesa studio.
And my game plan from here on is to open every show that way.
Absolutely.
I will invoke Mike, his name, and his studio for the rest of however long my career may turn out to be.
Now, the real question is, will the new afternoon drive show do the show from this studio or the Boomer studio?
You know what?
Remember, we have multiple studios here.
Completely out of my pay grade.
There's a lot of things out of our pay grade.
Got that right. Got that right.
Because I'm trying to think, like, who does what show where. I know on Saturdays I'm here. Like, this is the studio, man. I love this studio.
Course.
And it's the Mike Francesa studio.
As well it should be.
Is it going to be like a statue out there for him, too?
You know what? They really should. Because we don't want to be like the Mets. Okay? I mean, there should be, without question, a statue to Mike Francesa somewhere in this building or outside, maybe on Hudson Street somewhere. I don't know where. But there is no question that should be.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
We're a big fan of statues. Statues are very, very nice.
Statues.
Now, congratulations to your basketball team as you walked into Brooklyn with 85% of the people in that building rooting for your team.
Right.
Okay, which I understand. I don't mind saying that. It annoys me when I see Nick beat writers talking about how embarrassing it is. Shut up. I don't really care what Mark Berman has to say about how embarrassing it is in Brooklyn, okay? Well. You talk about your little basketball team. You tweet about Porzingis' knee because that's a big concern. And you leave the embarrassment to me. And you leave it to the other 12 Net fans. So I want you all to shut up about that, all right? We know the freaking deal about what happens in Brooklyn when the Knicks play. We're not stupid. And it was embarrassing. I hate these games. I hate these games. I hate Ron Baker and his hair making an impact on this game. I hate that.
My heart bleeds for you.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does. Because it does. Because I'm basically in the same boat. We are in the same boat as far as football and baseball.
Oh, that is true.
We're totally in the same boat there.
Look, I give your team credit because I thought that was, wow, the plaque's going up. The Francesa studio name is going up.
Mark's putting it up right now.
This is great.
I don't know if is that the final plaque? Is that the one that will be up eternally?
I think it may, at least until it falls off.
Well, that's true.
Which could happen.
Right.
But that was a good win for your basketball team because when Porzingis goes out.
You guys went on a crazy run. The Knicks were in control of this game in the second quarter, up 13 at halftime. I'm feeling pretty good. The Nets can't buy a three-point shot. It was terrible last night.
All night, by the way.
Absolutely. And then you made the big run in the third quarter after Zinger goes out. But the bottom line is this. And look, you're a Knicks fan. Terrific win without Zinger. Great contributions from Beasley, from Baker, from Ntilikina, from we go right on down the line. Everybody, Quinn,
they're all great.
All these guys played well. McDermott. But the bottom line is this, and this is what bothers me as a Knicks fan. Porzingis, this guy's hurt all the time. I mean, he's got so much body that it just seems that there's always a body part that's getting hurt. And we got to be concerned about this.
It's a major concern.
It is.
It's funny. After this game last night, I went on my buddy's radio show, and it's a national show, and he asked me a basketball question after I complained about your team and the Nets and all that.
I have no problem. You complain. You complain all you want.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No, you should.
And he asked a question that's interesting. He said, I'm going to name you a bunch of guys, young, upcoming stars in the NBA. You're starting a team. Who you're starting with? And he named Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
He named Giannis Antetokounmpo. He named Ben Simmons.
Right. Okay.
He named Kristaps Porzingis. Right. And we were talking about this. No offense to Porzingis. The guy's a freak.
Nice.
The reason why he's probably last on that list
the injuries.
is exactly what you just said.
I worry every day with this guy. It seems like every couple games, Porzingis has some kind of injury. He avoided that major injury to his ankle when he broke his ankle. Now he's got this knee thing. He's limping off. It doesn't look like he's playing against the OKC on Saturday. No, I know he shouldn't, but it's just... It's very, it's discouraging, to be honest with you.
And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why he's the unicorn and one of the reasons why he excites everybody is he's not normal. He's 7'3".
Yes,
he's long. He's incredibly talented. The problem is when you're that big, I mean, it's tough to stay healthy. You got body parts flying all over the place. You're a big man. And I was sitting up close and personal. I don't need to sit up that close to know he's huge. And I think that when you're that big, you put yourself in a position where any little injury can really occur. And we've seen a lot of big men in this league have a difficult time staying healthy, especially playing the brand of basketball that he plays. So it's not to take anything away from his talent. But, yeah, when you're talking about some of the great upcoming young players in this league and your hopes to winning and building a championship caliber team, it's around a guy who every single night you worry anytime he grimaces. And I saw him grimacing and... look, my first reaction is great, get him out of the game, but I'm also a human. I don't want the guy to get hurt. I don't want to see that. I feel bad. And he starts kind of signaling to the bench, like, get me out of this game.
Yes, he did.
And he's a tough kid. I mean, he's a tough guy. I don't think he wants to come out of that game. And I think the Knicks have to be cautious.
Well, they were. And I think that's one of the big reasons he didn't go back in the game. They are very cautious with him.
Then he can't play Saturday.
No, I understand. But it's very discouraging because as a Knicks fan, for the first time in a lot of, really, probably since, I don't know, since Van Gundy was here, 2000, whatever it was, okay, 2000, 2001. That you look at this franchise, and to me, the needle's actually pointing up. I think they got two guys. I think Steve Mills and Scott Perry look like they know what they're doing. They got a nice little team here. Even Ntilikina looks like he's a player. Ntilikina looks like a player. Maybe they really got something with Porzingis and Ntilikina. But if Porzingis is going to constantly be hurt, and here's the other thing. They play him physically, too.
Of course.
They're always beating the guy up.
You have to.
And that's how you got to, which is, of course, that's how you got to play him defensively. You got to try to beat him up. So that means he's even going to be more prone to injury. You got to be concerned about that. I completely agree.
It's just tough because what are you supposed to do other than being cautious? And look, holding him out on Saturday against the Thunder and Melo's return is fine, but eventually... For him to take that step and being the great player that I think we all see he can be.
The good potential's there.
He's got to play 70, 75 games a year. Yeah. And there's a big worry about that now.
No question.
I think that is the big concern about Porzingis. So I think if you're a Knicks fan over the next couple of days, you're really holding your breath. And really, you're going to hold your breath for a while. You're going to hold your breath until there's a season, and it's not happening this year, where he goes out and plays every game.
I completely agree. And then what happens, if they do get to the playoffs? And now you get the wear and tear of being in the playoffs and all those extra games. There's a lot of things to be concerned about with Porzingis. I completely agree.
Now, with that said, I give Hornacek a lot of credit, and we've seen him do this a few times now, where he rides Frank late in the game and kind of gives him the confidence to say, and hit big shots and take big shots. And Frank's not a guy who's looking for his own shot, but I'll tell you, he's not afraid to take his shot. And I thought he hit one of the biggest shots of the game last night.
I thought the biggest one was the only basket he made all night, Lance Thomas 3, that put him up 9. I forget how much time was left. I thought that was the biggest shot. But you're right. Ntilikina hit a couple big shots, made a couple great passes in this game. He got 8 assists. No, I like Ntilikina. Ntilikina.
The other thing that was huge is when the Nets went on their run to go up 4, idiotically, I thought, wow, Nets could run away and hide and win this game easily. Nice stress-free night. And the Knicks had to stop that run. And Michael Beasley was a big part of stopping that run.
Yes, he was.
Until he got into more foul trouble.
He can score. Beasley can score.
And he can score. We know that. He actually made plays on defense.
He did.
Which is, sickening.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely sickening.
Ron Baker, though, to me, really made some plays. He had a couple big shots back-to-back. He only had 5 points. Yeah. But diving on the floor, going after loose balls, I thought he was a big factor.
He was a huge factor, as was Kyle O'Quinn, because early on in this game, the Nets weren't getting abused on the offensive glass, which I figured would happen. The Nets are not a great rebounding team. We know how good the Knicks are. And the Nets did a pretty good job on the glass. And then, as the game wore on, I mean, the Knicks were just abusing them. Kyle O'Quinn making so many.
He did. I got to tell you this, though, and as a guy, and as you know, look, I'm not a Net fan, but I have no ill will toward the Nets at all. Maybe someday I will when the Knicks and Nets, if we're both alive, are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're pretty even and all of that.
Yeah.
You got some players. I mean, young players on this team. This LeVert looks like a real player.
How about
Dinwiddie, Hollis Jefferson.
Hollis Jefferson's
some players on this team.
No, look.
You got seriously.
I'm happy.
I say this about Perry and Mills. You know, Sean Marks and Atkinson. They know what they're doing.
No, absolutely.
They really
Atkinson is such a good player development guy, and I see it. Just seeing the development of Karis LeVert, not just from last year to this year, but from 3 weeks ago to now. Obviously, Spencer Dinwiddie, Rondé Hollis Jefferson's a different guy. No, I like where they're going. They're not a playoff team. I'm not delusional enough to think that that's going to happen.
They're not a 15-win team either.
No, they're better than that. Here's where I get annoyed. And I can't tell you or Brandon Tierney or Greg Giannotti or even Boomer how to act. But here's what bothers me. I care so much about these games. I can't stand your basketball team. I want to beat your team. It's a big deal.
No, I understand.
And you guys don't care. And I respect that. We are the gum on the bottom of your shoe. So when I leave Barclays Center last night cussing under my breath, you guys, and that's great. I mean, God bless you. You're like, oh, great. We beat the Nets. All right, I'm going to bed. You know what I mean? And that annoys me because we're so irrelevant that even when I get all worked up about a stupid basketball game in December, and I really shouldn't. It should be healthy.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I shouldn't.
You really should.
I know. I take
the eternal NBA season. I mean, even with the Knicks, bro, we talked about this. They were 15-10 last year. What happened after that?
You're right. It's just I can't stand your team. I can't stand the logo. I can't stand the colors. I can't stand a lot of your fans. A lot of your fans are just ridiculous.
Well,
you think you're the Yankees without the championships. Not you.
No, me, bro. Come on. I live in the real world.
I know.
You know, the Knicks fan, because Knicks fans are not realistic, a lot of them. I mean,
a lot of them are not.
We've done nothing for how many years? I haven't won a championship since 1973. I mean, let's get real here.
And I know this is irrational, and I really have I don't really care or have any problem with Mark Berman. I really don't. And the reason I'm picking him out is because I'm sitting at Barclays Center embarrassed. And I go on Twitter to get an update on Porzingis. I want to see if he's coming back. And I have to see Mark Berman tweet about how embarrassing it is, how many Knicks fans are there. Shut up. I don't want to hear from you. And I know that's irrational, Mark. You're a fine guy, and you're right about what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I don't want to hear from a Knick writer telling me how embarrassing. You don't think I know how embarrassing it is? You think your followers need to hear, oh, it's embarrassing. No kidding. It's embarrassing. So it's irrational. I know that. It's just, you know how it is. You kind of know because you do root for the Mets and Jets. You know the deal.
And I root for the Knicks. I mean, it's not like that. You know,
yeah, but you're the big guys in town.
They are, but they've done nothing for the better part of 20 years.
Yeah,
now.
You tell them.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2000 when they lost to Indiana. Yeah. Since then, there's been one playoff series win.
That's right.
And most of the years, they're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, a Knicks fan has got to come back to reality.
Come back to reality.
I mean, let's get real here.
You tell them.
I'm trying. I mean, come on.
That was a fun night last night. Give me a break.
You know, let's see this team. Let's see Porzingis stay healthy. And like I said, the needle's pointing up. As a Knicks fan, the needle's pointing up.
I love Frank. I think Frank's a really talented player.
No question.
Frank Nicolino.
You know,
impressed by him.
And you know, maybe like I said, if all Phil did was draft Porzingis and Tilakina, that may not be too bad.
Listen, and
let's be real.
And I don't want to hear because I've heard who said it. I think it was Boomer who said it. Ntilikina. I heard Boomer say this about Porzingis, and a lot of Knicks fans have. Well, he fell into his lap. Who cares? He still
doesn't
drafted
matter.
him.
He still took him. He could have not took him.
Yeah. He could have said no. He could have taken Justice Winslow.
Look, here's the bottom line. It's long overdue. Okay, here's the way I look at it. You're right. Of course he fell in Phil's lap, but Phil was smart enough to take him when he fell in his lap.
Yeah.
And then Knicks were overdue. They weren't overdue to get something good happen for them? Come on.
They were overdue.
Of course.
They were overdue to have their pick.
Right.
And then
there you go.
It correctly.
Amen. They actually had. How about that? How about that?
True.
And these guys have not traded any number one picks away.
No, they haven't.
Whether they're in the lottery or not this year, I still think they probably will be. They have not traded any number one picks. I'm telling you, I have a lot of confidence in Steve Mills and Scott Perry. I got to say that. I really do.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
It is a football Friday. We'll get into the Jets and Giants, but really the story of the weekend is Steelers-Patriots with so much on the line at 4:25 on Sunday.
I am jacked up for that game.
No, I'm very excited as well.
But I got to tell you, can I say this?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of being jacked up for other people's games.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
I know. I completely agree with you.
Oh my! I really am.
I feel that way in a lot of sports.
I love the NFL, and I've been following the NFL since I was 8 years old, and I've watched just about every playoff game since then in the entire league. But I am so disgusted. I mean, can I get jacked up one time about my team in a big spot?
Okay, I agree with you,
I'm tired of it.
I agree with you, but
it's been 7 years now.
No, it's been a long time. But I remember, and you certainly remember, sitting at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh that evening.
And that's the last time we were in a playoff game.
That is correct. And the pain you have watching your team in the playoffs, Yankee fans know this, you just experienced it, is so brutal. When you watch Steelers, Patriots, or another team play, at least you can enjoy it.
That is true. No, it's an enjoyable game because you got because you got no emotional attachment here.
Right.
Like you got no dog, unless you're betting on it, you got no dog in the hunt.
Right. Even if you're rooting for a team.
Right.
Like, you're not really going to go nuts. If I was rooting for Atlanta to beat the Patriots, and as disappointed as I was, they blew that lead in the Super Bowl.
You weren't, you really didn't even need my pillow that night.
I really didn't. Right. I went to sleep.
That's right.
I mean, I was disappointed about the result. I did lose a few dollars, but whatever.
Still, right.
You know? So that's the one perk to Giant and Jet fans being excited about Steelers Patriots. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who wins.
And there's a lot, and you know what? This week there's really a lot of exciting games. You got the Chiefs-Charger game Saturday night. You got Seattle and the Rams playing this weekend. You got there's another big game. What's the one I can't think of off the top of my head? Oh, the Packers and the Panthers. They got a lot of big games that really impact the playoffs this week. So
Seahawks Rams those 4:00, so it goes up against Patriots Steelers. So that'll be a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, I do have. You got the DirecTV. I got the Red Zone. So but I'll be locked into the Steeler game.
Yeah, that's the most appealing one. No doubt about it.
Yep.
We'll come back. We'll get to your calls. Basketball, football, the end of the winter meetings where the Mets did very little and the Yankees are rumored to acquire everybody. The toll